What's up, y'all? Welcome back to her podcast. It's your girl Tajae, and we're back with our second episode. I wanted to honestly say thank you if you have tuned in to my first podcast episode. I did not think it would do as good as it did, or even like reach the people that it was supposed to reach. Because I prayed over that video before I even posted it, and I was like, God, like I need you to do your big one for me. And I need this video to reach the people that it's meant to reach, because I felt like that was a very powerful message, and it was something that I was definitely going through at that time. And God just gave me a revelation on like how to look at it. Like, don't be mad when things happening to you. Things aren't happening to you, but they're happening for you. So that's where that came from. And I got so much feedback. I got a lot of personal messages about it. I got a couple messages on Instagram and then one comment on episode, and I was just so grateful that I was able to reach a YouTube community. Like, it's one thing, you know what I'm saying, when it's your family and your friends and people from your other social sites supporting you, which is great, phenomenal. But it's a different thing when people from the YouTube platform come and support you. Like, you're building your own community, your own family, people who will genuinely support you. Because that's one thing I had to find out. Like, being a business owner, like the main people that's gonna support you is it's a complete stranger. They're gonna be the most supportive person in your life is a complete stranger. So I'm just so grateful. I feel so blessed and so honored, and the fact that I can spread God's word. That's what we're here for. That's part of my purpose. So I'm gonna continue to use my platform to do that, okay? And I'm not gonna stop vlogging, y'all. Like, oh, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I have a playlist for all of my podcast episodes. So if you just want to watch my podcast and you're into my podcast, I will have a playlist separate for that. So you can just go watch podcast video. If not, just go ahead and hit your girl vlogs up and stuff. I wasn't in the best mood to film today because a lot of times, like right now, this is what this episode is about. Right now, I'm in my waiting season. I'm waiting to see like what God has for me. And I was watching this YouTube video about this other like Christian couple, and they were talking about like their waiting season and like what they did to wait, what posture that they stood in to wait. And it's like I just had this epiphany, and I'm like, okay, like how are you waiting? Like, are you trusting the process? Are you trusting God's plan for your life? Like, are you letting him lead? And like for me, I'm in a very vulnerable spot right now to where I solely have to depend on God for everything. Now, when I say everything, baby, I mean everything. So it's just like, okay, how are you waiting? Like, sometimes I get frustrated with the way how things are because I'm used to doing them a certain way or maneuvering on my own. And I honestly, it's God's way of teaching me how to be um dependent on him and not always being the independent woman, you feel me? So it's just like, and I feel like it also is prepping me for like marriage too, because there's gonna be times where I'm gonna have to depend on my man to do stuff for me, and it's like, do I want to? No. But God's like, you're gonna have to surrender, you're gonna have to submit, like sub to the mission, baby, sub to the mission. So it's like, are you gonna fear it or are you gonna face it? So I'm learning how to be at a posture of just crazy faith, because that's the only choice I have. When God eliminates you from other things, other resources, even your enemies, and he can use your enemies as your footstool and limit those kind of resources too, like you have to solely depend on God, and you have to allow him to be the lead of your life. When you need something, go directly to him for everything and stay at his feet, stay at that posture. So it's like when I face adversity, like I usually get so mad. Like when I say mad, y'all, I get pissed. Like so pissed. And I'm like, it puts me at a posture of to where like I start complaining a little bit. And but I, from watching that video I was telling y'all I watched, she had said like when she faces adversity, instead of her being angry at the situations that she's in or basically talking to God about it or being mad at God, she goes, it could be worse than this. So it's like it's true. Like your situation could be worse than this, but it's not. So you should thank God in the moment and think, okay, how can I utilize my time? What could I be doing right now to accommodate this waiting period? Like for me right now, I could be pushing out content. I have nothing but time to push out content. And it's like, can I do the things that I want to do? Like go to the gym? No, but I can do an at home workout, go running, and put out my content and stuff. So it's just like you have to find different ways to keep yourself occupied and in a good posture of waiting. It's all about how you wait. And I remember years ago when Pastor Mike Todd first came out, and he had put out a sermon of and it was called like how are you waiting, and he had everyone dressed up as waiters, and it was like he was explaining like how what is your posture of waiting, what is your posture of trusting the process, what are you doing while you wait, what are you doing, why are you trusting God's will for your life. If God is telling you to be still, and there was times where God would be like, "Oh, be still and know that I'm God. Be still and know that I'm God." I'm like, "Oh, you don't mean that like literally. I'm gonna go do what I go do best and figure this stuff out basically on my own. But I will trust you in this part of my life." And God's like, "No, I'm telling you to physically be still and know that I'm God. I don't need you getting nothing from anybody else or doing what you normally do. This is different. I am doing a new thing once again." And it's just like if you're not gonna listen, I'm gonna make it harder. Every time you move, I'm gonna put a stop to it. Cause I told you to be still. And I'm like, all right, God. So now I'm at a posture of like fully surrendering and again being at peace with what didn't happen and finding and navigating my way through and just being obedient. And honestly, it's a way of God like pushing me to be in my to utilize my gifts fully. Like I've had these talents and gifts since I was a kid. And so God was like, Esther 4:14, you were made for such a time as this. And the time is now. Not tomorrow, not in 2025, not January 1st, now. He's like, you need to do it now. So it's just like you can get frustrated and be aggravated about trusting the process, or you can have a different posture of waiting during the process and building for when God finally brings you to the land of milk and honey. You already said you already prepared. He said, I will prepare a table in the presence of your enemies, but you got to do what you got to do first. Faith without works is dead. You can have all the faith in the world, but you got to do your part too. So it's just like, okay, God, I hear you. I'm just very like a lot of times too in this situation, I could hear my best friend like me and her will be texting back and forth, and I'm telling her about my situation, and I'm explaining to her what's going on and stuff, and she's like, Tajae, this is only a small portion of your life. It won't be like this forever. So it's like also it makes you realize like you need to be present. Be present. Be in the moment because there's going to be something that you miss about this season. There's going to be something that you miss about this season. And I learned that in 2019, like when I was with my ex and God had put it on my heart, oh, this relationship is not going to be a long season. So you better enjoy the season because it's going to be real short. And I was like, okay, whatever you say, God. And he was like, I'm telling you, this going to be a short season. I know all. So, baby, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a short season. So you better enjoy it while it's good. And I did enjoy it while it was good, but God was right. It wasn't a long season. Like it started to so slowly but surely turn over after that season was over. And I was like, dang, like God was right. So it's like be in the moment, enjoy the process. There's gonna be something about this moment that you're gonna miss because when God drops it, baby, it's go time. It's grind time. Like it's work don't stop, it's overly booked, you feel me. It's like okay, I need to enjoy this process and see the beauty in it. And lately I just honestly been romanticizing a lot of parts in my life and just taking time out to be at God's feet. Have I been the best at it? No, but like I'm just taking it a day at a time. That 1% I'm putting into it a day at a time. And this is part of it too. Besides like me been doing Bible study, praying and talking to God and worshiping and listening to sermons. this is part of it. And it's just like, okay, God is giving me the blueprint and the paved way to help me utilize my gifts and to be at a better posture in the waiting process and allow me to operate fully in what he's called me to do. So, yeah, that's just the realization of that. I'm really excited for the future. I just can't wait until both of my best friends get to be on this podcast, y'all, because like I'm just waiting for the right time. We're all waiting for the right time. I'm so excited because I can't wait for that real dynamic conversation to happen. Because when I tell y'all, baby, the tea gonna be hot, baby. The tea is gonna be hot. You hear me? This is another short episode. I'm glad that y'all tuned back in with your girl. I'm very grateful to be in this position and for God to use me to help others. It's going to be a beautiful process. And I'm going to be willing to trust this process and see what the outcome could be. So if you're on the same boat and journey as me, baby, trust the process. Trust God's will for your life because he knows what's best for you. I learned a long time ago that I don't know what's best for me. Like I couldn't even pick the right relationships. I couldn't pick it because yeah. And yeah, just be grateful for where you're at right now. Where you at right now in life is exactly where you need to be. It's exactly where you need to be. So don't be upset about where you at. Thank God for where you at and do what you can with the strength that you have to do it and just enjoy your time with God. So yeah, y'all. Remember to keep it classy and I'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye. The devil is a liar. Yeah, 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 yeah.